But it says the Bluetooth device. Can you check the Bluetooth is connected? Because it said the Bluetooth is connected. I can't hear my thing. I want to hear the song, man.
Oh, wait. Okay. Bluetooth.
Trying to reconnect. Oh, I'm connected. We're good.
You good?
Yep.
Okay.
I just had to reconnect. All right. Let's do it.
So now, when I hit spacebar, it should be fine.
Are you recording?
Yes.
And did you click cut?
I did hit cut.
Well, then yeah, let's start the show.
We're here, ladies and gentlemen.
We are?
I think so.
Cool.
I don't exactly know where we're at, but...
That's cool. Well, this is the Soundguys Podcast. We've been missing you all.
It's been a while, hasn't it?
It's been a long time, dude. But, you know, we decided to come up with the idea. Instead of getting down to our usual studios and places that we'd like to go, why not just do the show from the road? Right, Nick?
And that is exactly what we're doing, ladies and gentlemen. Let me show you. We're on the road.
We're on the road. Look at that.
We're going somewhere.
How about that? For those who are actually listening versus watching, yeah. If you're watching, you can see that we've got the van rigged out with GoPros, and we're actually doing some work, which is always fun. It's high winds today. It's a beautiful day. It's 80 degrees outside. Blah blah blah. I am Crispin Smith. You're ever so friendly. And smart, I don't know my shtick, but I'm here for support. And Neighborhood Nick.
You've been staying as Crispin Smith for a while now, haven't you?
Oh, well, it's been a couple episodes.
You like Crispin Smith?
I do like Crispin Smith. For a couple episodes, for sure.
Yeah.
How's the audio, by the way?
It says it's green.
Man, well,
We're doing good on OBS.
We are the sound guys, and as long as the audio is green, that means it's good. So
that's at least what I believe. So I think we're doing all right, guys.
Let me tell you a funny story about that. So this is on some real stuff. I thought the way you did once when I was a young Padawan, and I was looking at my meters, and it was green, and I thought, no problem. I didn't bother putting headphones on it. Didn't bother to do nothing. Basically, yeah, it was green all right. It was green with a bunch of distorted audio that was just trash, and it was completely unusable. Yeah, you live, you learn, you get loves, right?
Well, I mean, it's difficult to really monitor the audio when you can't really hear it, so...
Well, that's true.
Out of the headphones.
You are hearing it, though, right?
I can hear it out of one headphone.
You gotta turn that thing up, buddy, right there. Ah, there you go. That's better.
Oh, my. Okay.
Yeah, you keep that thing at 12 o'clock. So for all the geeks that are listening, we gotta talk about this. You're gonna love it. So we've rigged out the van with some knockoff GoPros. Camera 1, camera 2, camera 3. Very cool. We're switching this bad boy through OBS, which is always fun. We love it. It's the best piece of open source. We can also rig OBS differently as we need. We're on Shure mics. Neighborhood Nick is hardwired. I'm wireless just in case I have to get out and beat anybody down. And I'm on a...
Which doesn't really make sense because I'm the martial artist between the two of us.
You know how someone's a martial artist? Because they're going to tell you. Anywho,
we have to, by law.
I roll. Anyways, so the point... Yeah, and I got Bo Johnson and Jack Jangles right here. Anyways, so with that being said, I'm wireless, so I can go do my things. We're on a QLX wireless system, which is great. Nick's on a traditional hardwired. What is it? Is it ECM1? I think that's what those are. The ECM1 wired mics. They're great, awesome. We're running it into a Mackie Mix 8 because everybody loves Mackie.
They are amazing, actually. The quality is there for the price that you pay for it.
It is. Let's talk about that.
The amount of inputs and everything.
I'm not gonna lie. For a quick little mixer that you got to get the job done. Okay, those Mackie mixers, they're time tested, and they're okay. They're okay. You can buy the Allen & Heath, the small Zeds. Those are cool, but the problem with the Allen & Heath Zed or even the Soundcraft Folios is that they take up more. They take up more footprint. I can get the maximum amount of inputs and floor space on my Mix 8 that I can from anywhere else. The only thing that I'm not happy with is USB out. Because
that's
to
true.
get the interface from the Mix 8 into the laptop, we have to basically TRS out to XLR into a little tiny Alesis, and yeah, that's no bueno. But
It's been beneficial though.
But in this application, if we have an Alesis Multi-Mix 8, I think it is. If we had that back from rental, the Alesis Multi-Mix 8 is the way to go. Why? Because it has USB right into it. You just basically have the mixer and everything, boom, USB out, golden. The Soundcraft Folio, no, the Note. Is it the Soundcraft Note 8?
I do not know.
I think it is.
That one I don't
The
know.
Soundcraft Note 8, or somewhere it's an 8 channel. They have a pretty good setup too, and it has effects. That's a great little thing going there too. But I mean, I guess it really just comes down to where you get the best deal in terms of pricing and all those things.
That's true.
So I would go Alesis. I think I'd go Alesis. Small ones would be Mackie, Alesis, and then Allen and Heath. And then obviously larger consoles, Soundcraft, all that stuff. Was I hitting my lav? Did you hear me hitting it, or was it okay?
I was hitting my lav earlier with my headphones. So.
I wasn't mindful of it, so. Anyways, but that's it. We're on the road. We'll be doing a couple shows from the road. We might even do a live show from the road. How about that?
That would be interesting.
We've been teasing this live show for a long time. We just have to figure out how we can do it safely, and how Neighborhood Nick over there.
And also to avoid car sickness. That's an important part.
Oh, do you get car sick?
Occasionally I will.
Oh, this is telling.
It depends on how it depends on how windy the road is, and if I'm going from down, up, left, right. Am I focusing on something inside the car or outside the car?
Really?
Back and forth. And if I'm in the back seat. But because I'm in the front seat, it's usually better.
Does air conditioning help you at all? Like if you have air conditioning?
Sometimes, but usually I actually find the open air also to be more useful than air conditioning.
Really?
So if it's really, really bad, then it's okay, I need to roll down the window just a little bit, not.
Because I know my
massively.
wife, she, same story. She'll but if it's air conditioning, she's fine.
Oh, really? Okay.
Like something blowing on her face. Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, see, this is a very telling show. This is honestly what the Soundguys is probably going to turn into. For those of you who are just joining us for the first time ever, this is your first time ever finding the Soundcast. We are, what are we? We basically talk about politics, we talk about tech, we talk about shows, entertainment, Nick's personal life. We talk about anything and everything.
Yeah.
And this show is actually, we call it your daily dose of or your weekly dose or your monthly dose of background noise, because we truly appreciate you joining us, being with us, and investing the time for the next hour.
Yeah,
But one thing you'll find, there's a running goal, and that is to uncover who really Neighborhood Nick is.
It's true. I'm more of the mysterious Nick every now and then.
Neighborhood Nick is too mysterious. He's
Not too mysterious.
He is. He enjoys his privacy. He enjoys. He's a fun guy. And so this whole car sick thing, this is news. I've known him for 20 years, and
You've known me since I was 6.
that's creepy. Well, then again, you just gave away how old you are, so.
I don't. What are you gonna do with my age? That's not gonna matter.
Well,
I'm not giving you my birth date.
You can Google. Yeah, you can Google Neighborhood Nick 26. We should do that. We should just see what we can find out.
Where's my phone? Where's my phone?
Where's your phone?
I don't know. It's in my pocket, I think.
Is it in your pocket?
I think so. But yes. All right.
If we Google Neighborhood Nick, age 26, California, tell me what we can find.
All right. Wait. Hold on. It's gotta.
It'll be very frightening what we find. Anyway, so with
gotta
that
get a
being
signal
said,
real quick.
I find it fascinating that we little pieces that make him sick. But anywho, if we get the opportunity to do this live, we'll be taking your questions and your calls, and we'll be having a topic to follow, such as politics of internet, gear,
CEOs going through midlife crises, conspiracy theories.
Conspiracy theories. Oh, those are the best. How about that vaccine?
Well, the vaccine, it can be a conspiracy theory all by itself, but also now the COVID vaccine passport is now hitting the national debate stage.
Nice.
We've done a few episodes on that before anyone else.
Yep.
We beat everyone to it,
We sure did.
but that doesn't seem to matter.
Hey, but now that it's hitting the national stage, I want to talk about that really quick. What's the?
Wait, hold on. Before we do that,
Okay.
I did a search,
Okay.
And the first thing that came up was Echo Park Neighborhood Council Empower LA.
That's you.
February 5th, 2021. The Echo Park Neighborhood Council, EPNC. As the council is Nick Marcone, at-large representative. Los Angeles, California, 90026.
Is he 26?
No, he's not.
Well, then what's the point?
You know, it's just the first thing that popped up.
You didn't do your search inquiry properly.
I typed in neighborhood Nick, 26, California.
No, age 26.
Oh, age 26.
Yeah, see, you didn't listen. I guarantee you, if I do it, I'm going to find you.
And the first thing that comes up is Nick Sandoval in California, 26. Records found on White Pages.
See, there
He's
you
in
are.
Moreno Valley, Costa
That's
Mesa.
you. Told you.
Costa Mesa.
Told you.
And then Nick Cannon.
Boy, this wind, dude. Avocados from Mexico. Anyways, no, this wind is bad. So, for those who want to also know about the weather that we're driving in right now, it's a beautiful sunny day, but dude, the wind is nuts.
You don't get that down in up and where are
Up
we?
and down, and
I don't know where we're at right now. We're somewhere in California.
We're somewhere in California. That's for doggone sure.
We're on I-5.
That's right, Interstate 5. Well, today we can tell people where we're going. We're heading to a project in Willits,
California.
little tiny Willits.
For those of you who have no idea where that is,
North Coast area, close.
it's halfway between Clear Lake and Fort Bragg.
How about that? So we're going to Willits.
Willits!
Oh, boy howdy, that's going to be a fun drive. But anyways, yeah, so this is the show, and what were you saying again about the whole vaccine passport? I'm curious to hear this, because you are my daily dose of news.
This is true. For all your political science mumbo jumbo, that's what I do.
I don't get that.
So basically what's happening right now, ladies and gentlemen, COVID vaccine passports, some states have completely banned the use of the COVID passport.
What?
Florida was the first one. This guy wants to get over.
He does. Did you get him?
No, I didn't.
Did you get that? Yeah,
I wasn't fast enough on the
Man,
switch.
you should have went to camera 3 and been like, man, look at that turd. Look at that turd drive. We're trying not to go super fast because of the wind, man. We're in a big old van. Dude.
Van does not.
Hold on, look at that. So COVID passport, Florida, you know.
Yeah, so Florida has banned the use of COVID vaccine passports, and they're currently working, and the theory is they may even make it to where private businesses will not be allowed to use it in the state of Florida.
Oh.
However, we do know that in New York, the exact opposite is happening, where they're working on developing a COVID vaccine passport that you have to use to go into theaters, bars, concerts, any social gathering events, parties, government buildings, everything. So we got 2 different worlds going on there. But then, if we take that, that's just the United States. But let's expand this to the world now. There are countries, especially in Europe right now, that really want the COVID vaccine passport. And then other countries that are not wanting to do it whatsoever.
What's New Zealand doing?
New Zealand has not come out with anything just as of yet, as far as I'm aware of. But New Zealand also is not huge in the news right now.
What's France doing?
France is currently going through a little bit of a COVID surge, and so they're debating about it. They're just trying to get AstraZeneca, their vaccine, which is from the UK. They're trying to, because apparently this study came out that the AstraZeneca vaccine was causing blood clots. And so a lot of people freaked out.
Wait,
France cut distribution completely until something got figured out, and now they're beginning to roll back out the AstraZeneca vaccine.
I thought that was Johnson & Johnson.
And AstraZeneca.
What's going on with Johnson & Johnson? There was some clotting also on that one.
I have not heard that one yet.
It's on the Wall Street Journal.
Which edition?
Yeah, I don't know. Online, I got a notification. Oh, it reminds me. I need to see if I probably shouldn't use my phone because that might incriminate. Dude, let me tell you about that phone law. I'm pretty pissed off. Remember I asked you about, I texted you about the holders?
Yeah.
I got stopped 3 times that day for using my phone. And
you got stopped.
I got stopped, but see, here's the thing. I was already stopped. And each time of those instances, like I finally on the third one, I asked the CHP officer, like, I said, listen, buddy, at least they're kind enough. No one was like, being rude-ish. But I was like, did you guys like get a grant or something? Like, what's going on here? And he's like, yeah, we got some funding for cell phone enforcement, blah blah blah. I'm like, of course you did. Of course you did. So basically, I was at the stoplight and I had my phone in my hand.
Oh, shame on you.
At the stoplight.
Shame, shame, shame.
I was not driving. The vehicle was not in motion. But apparently the way the law is written, the driver of the vehicle, nothing about vehicle being in motion, nothing about anything like that, it's just the driver. So I asked him, I said, so in reality, how then can, a single person in a vehicle navigate maps? Commercial drivers, what do they do? Oh, well, you're allowed to have it mounted and you can interact with it on the dash. Oh, okay. I just can't physically hold the phone. That's correct.
That's
okay.
Interesting.
So if I have it mounted, I can do whatever I want. That's correct. So the only way I can use my phone is if I'm physically parked off on the side of the road, and then we're good. He's like, well, technically you're still the driver. I'm like, are you kidding me? He's like, yeah, you have to basically be in the passenger seat.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting.
I'm happy he took the time with me, and I'm glad.
At least he explained that properly for you.
I'm glad it didn't get it didn't escalate, but it was no tickets, mercifully, which is great. But they just, that was that day of that accident. I was on the interstate for 7 hours.
Oh yeah, you told me about that.
Yeah, apparently a big rig coming on northbound was hit on southbound with another. They both collided. One of those big rigs had a refrigerant, and that was the reason why. The trailer was refrigerated. And so they had hazmat and all of that. Yeah, it was just huge mess.
A nightmare.
It was. Anyways, COVID vaccine, huh? All right, the ports. And again, I don't have a problem with the passport. Maybe it just comes down to what does the passport really detail? What does it entail?
And that is the big, and that's the big question that people from all over the place are asking: is this going to completely give away every possible amount of medical information? Is it just going to be solely the COVID vaccine or vaccination card? There was some interesting things, though, that I have heard from some of my shadier friends, I should say.
Shadier?
I love shady. Yes. That there's already people making fake COVID vaccine passports.
Of course.
So just like the regular passport, which has all of the fun governmental regulations and everything, there's some people on the black market who can make fake ones.
Why not?
So now there's already a market building up of people requesting fake vaccination cards and fake vaccination COVID vaccine passports. Yeah. So that it can be digitally done and for people to avoid the vaccine itself, which still, to this day, there is a lot of distrust, I would say, about the COVID vaccine.
Yeah.
So people are wary of that, and with that on top of everything else, with the COVID vaccine passport, it just seems that people aren't comfortable with the idea in a lot of places.
Well, again, I don't know. My whole thing on this is I don't really understand. I don't really understand it, I guess. I know a lot of people are gonna, probably give me flack for this. And you can comment below, tell Crispin Smith, he's a bad guy, whatever. I get it. But I believe the coronavirus is and was real, okay? Because we had it. I had it. You had it.
Yep.
It was the worst thing ever. It was bad.
You had it a lot worse than I did.
It was. Yeah, I did. I almost died. And but the thing was, I had it prior to it being a big deal. And then when we had the antibody test, because the way the ER said it, when we went to the ER, and it was like, oh, we don't really know. It's just a really bad virus. We don't know. Here's a breathing treatment.
I was told influenza type B.
B?
I believe it was influenza type B.
But yeah, so the ER couldn't do anything for me. The ER basically gave me a breathing treatment. They laid me down. They didn't even admit me. I basically just stayed in the ER for a while. They're like, okay, you feeling bad? I'm like, no. And they're like, okay, we don't know what it is, but I mean, you're somewhat stable at home. I'm like, thanks for that. And honestly, if it wasn't for, setting an alarm to wake me up every 2 hours, forcing myself to down fluids, to take hot showers every 2-3 hours, steam, eucalyptus, Vicks, vitamins, I mean, just everything, just going to town, and really fluids. I mean, part of it was because since I was so hydrated with fluid, I had to wake up because I had to go to the bathroom so much.
Which is good.
I think because of that.
You gotta stay hydrated.
Otherwise, because a lot of the death on the younger folks that you heard of death, they just laid down and they wanted to sleep through it, and they never woke back up. So, I'm looking at that saying, okay, yeah, that's real. I experienced it, it's bad news. But have I ever gotten a flu shot? No.
Oh, neither have I.
The reason why I don't get the flu shot, there's two reasons. Medically, I can't. And then second, the one time I did, I got so deathly ill, I was like, what's the point? And you've even heard other comedians prior to this pandemic use the flu shot as a joke. I mean, what's his name? The angry guy. I like him. Lou. Oh man, he's fat. He was in. He played the part of the presidential advisor in Robin Hood's Man of the Year. Louis Black. Louis Black.
I'm not familiar with this person.
Of course you're not. But the point is, his shtick is angry comedy, and he was complaining about the flu shot. He's like, yeah, you don't get the flu because you got a cold. What's the thing? Because when you take the flu shot, it gives you a cold, and so every day you wake up, you've got a cold. you never catch the flu because you got a cold the whole season. You're all sniffling about. It's pretty accurate because that's what happened to me. I took the flu shot. I don't know, 19, 20, 21, somewhere in there, ages, and I was just sick.
Yes.
And so every year I didn't get the flu shot, I was like, dude, I'm doing okay. I basically stayed healthy, ate healthy, had good hydration, kept up on the vitamins, C, D, A, vitamin C, D, A, and E? No, just D and A. And B. That's what it was. I take vitamin B, A, C, and D. That's it.
Nice.
So, when I talk about a vaccine, I'm like, well, hold on. Wasn't COVID, I get it, it's just, but all the symptoms, people die from the flu. People die from all these things, and I'm not trying to take a particular position, so don't nail me to the cross on this one, guys. I'm genuinely still asking questions because I'm an inquisitive person. I want to know.
It's true.
They're saying, okay, COVID was so bad. Well, great, yeah, but it was bad. Okay, but how can you make a vaccine that stays active with something that continues to come out and mutate?
And that's one thing that a lot of people have been bringing to, at least in the medical field and everything, is these vaccines. One said it was about 6 months, and then you have to get another vaccine.
Yeah.
And then another one's 8 months.
It's just the flu shot. That's what no, it's not. Okay, fine. But what I'm saying is, every year we've heard it. If you can remember, no one seems to be able to have remembering well. It's like, oh, this year's flu season is going to be really bad. Or this year's flu is going to be like. We always can. Prior to this, we were able to predict good flu seasons. Prior to this, we were able to say, oh, the flu is going to be really bad. Okay, cool. And we're getting out this specific type of flu shot.
Yep.
Okay, cool. So, laboratories were making flu shots to accommodate for whatever strain of flu was coming out. So, was it a flu vaccine? Is that what they were calling it?
That's a flu shot.
It's a flu shot. So the terminology, everything about this is weird because it's like, okay, why would you just call it to get your coronavirus shot? I mean, maybe that doesn't run off the tongue. It's not
Get your COVID shot.
I mean, it doesn't ring off the tongue as well. Flu shot, boom, coronavirus vaccine. Ooh, I don't know. I really don't. And so, when I hear about these mandatory vaccines and all these things they're saying we're going to do, I'm like, well, this isn't polio.
That's true.
I mean, this isn't a nervous system problem. This isn't like a biological weapon, or maybe it is. It's not. You dig?
Yeah.
Because a lot of the things that we've vaccinated out of the gene pool were some serious deficiencies based on either too much radiation or whatever. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I really don't. I'm going to pull that out of my head, but I don't know. But if you look at a lot of these other issues, the problem was that you had severe nervous system problems. And as far as I've seen, the coronavirus is not nervous system, it's respiratory, just like flu.
Yep.
I don't know. I really don't. But, I mean, for me, whatever it takes for us to get going to town, I just feel like if that's the case, then why wouldn't you just have your flu shot records on your same thing? That's the
Which could turn into that. It could start going that way.
Did you get immunized? Okay, you guys, schools, I know, I get it. Immunization records, yeah, you got to have all that. That's cool. Before you travel, you got to get dosed up on all sorts of stuff.
Yep.
That makes sense. But your flu shot,
it's true.
You have a lot of it's true. You're not really.
No, I mean, because
what's your take on this? Because you're just kind of like.
I mean, the fact of the matter is that it's going to be controversial regardless of however it's done. People are going to be upset regardless of how it gets done.
Mm-hmm.
We got schools already demanding that universities, especially all students and staff, must have the COVID vaccine unless for religious purposes or medical purposes. Then they don't need to have it. So I could see that it's turning into it's a weird thing because, at least in my experience, when you get any sort of vaccine, it's just on a piece of paper, you're good to go.
Yeah.
And you just scan that to the university or to get your visa, you're good, you're solid. But to require it to be scanned to go on and the one thing, like, events is one thing, but I'm more concerned about having to scan something in order just to go onto a bus, to get a taxi, to get on a plane or a train. There's issues. At least in my brain, there's a lot of issues with that aspect of the mentality rather than requiring it to go to school or get a visa. Because that's a separate thing that we're accustomed to, we're so used to.
And what happened to HIPAA?
Exactly. And so that's going to be...
where's HIPAA?
Well, HIPAA doesn't exist anymore.
But you see what I'm saying? It's like that's a big... I don't know, man.
It's true.
That's your verbal tick for the day, huh?
It's true.
I probably should take my lab off, though, because there's a lot of wind outside. I'm going to go get some money for this TP I bought.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we are in front of the Bank of America.
You have the show.
We're in front of a little Bank of America kiosk right there. And Crispin Smith is...
Don't tell them my account number and anything else I'm doing. Like, seriously.
I don't have access to that. So, as you can see, he's walking. We got a little dash cam footage here. He's going for it. But ladies and gentlemen, as we had this discussion, leave in the comments, give some reviews or whatnot. What are you thinking? What is your opinion about the COVID vaccine passport and the controversies that it could entail, or what have you, anything other than that possible? It's definitely something that seems to be going on in the future. It seems to be something that we're going to be having to look forward to for a long, long time. And it will be interesting for sure to see how, at least here in the United States and California, how it will be entailed. But as we move on from that, how the world is going to interact with everything that's been going on. As you can see, Crispin Smith is not here in the car right now, and I am just going through withdrawals because usually I just build off of whatever he's going to say. But as we continue with this fun discussion, how about we switch away from COVID? I'm sorry, I have to adjust a few things here. Let's switch away from COVID and let's talk about some entertainment aspects. So recently, we just went on an excursion. We had a job down in Southern California. It was an amazing little thing. Basically, just without going into massive details, it was a movie, and it was a drive-in movie. So that was interesting. But one of the aspects that we had to use was OBS, which we love using OBS. We were using OBS to play everything, but inside of the market, the ecosystem that is popular and that is used, Crispin Smith is returning. The ecosystem that gets used, at least down south, but it seems to be for every possible movie market, is Apple products. And we can see, oh, ouch. You're just banging your mic all over the place, aren't you?
Sorry. I thought you had muted me. Some engineer you are.
Well, no, you were far away. Crispin Smith has returned, ladies and gentlemen.
You already said that. Sorry. Keep going. You're good.
We're going.
Finish your thought. Sorry.
So basically, we were using what is called, it's not fine. Was it Final Cut for the drive-in aspect? What was the Apple product that we were using? The one that it was like Playback Pro?
Playback Pro.
Playback Pro. And for some reason, Playback Pro is the standard. Apparently, it's the gold standard of what has to be used for these massive events down south. And not gonna lie, we were disappointed by Playback Pro. The design of it was bland and not Apple-esque. It was a hassle to use occasionally.
It is a hassle. So basically, it's good. It's a great program.
No, yes,
I don't know why I went this way.
It has a lot of benefits. It serves a purpose,
but it really is not a multi-format friendly program. The best way to use Final Cut, the best way to use Playback Pro, in my opinion, in my experience, just throughout the years and ever so reiterated with our recent project I'm sure Neighborhood Nick's telling you about, is you need to render all of your content down to the acceptable ProRes or whatever format. So if you're going to do a show that has a lot of content that needs to loop and play and blah, 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 you basically just need to render it all out as either MP4s or MOVs, something that is going to work with the system and it's all the same frame rate, aspect ratio. Everything is it's all the same, because that's really where Playback Pro screwed us. And I knew it would, but we were ingesting so much different type of content, people throwing stuff at you that was either in 720 or was in 1080 or was in 4K, and then also different aspect ratios. Some of it was like a 2:3, some of it was a 16:9, some of it was a 4:3. There was just all these different aspect ratios. Poor little Playback Pro's just like
it was torn.
But OBS could handle it no problem.
Which is why we personally love OBS for everything.
And here's the thing: if you haven't donated to them, donate to the project, because those guys they're doing God's work. So definitely give some money to Playback.
It's definitely a miraculous little product, OBS. It's a wonderful little thing.
And also top it off, Playback Pro was written for Maverick. That's the biggest thing. That's where they're really screwing up the game.
Go into detail on that. What is Maverick? What's this person doing?
I don't know. What are you doing? Maverick. So the latest is Catalina. I think it is on the OSs in Mac Pro or Mac Land. And Catalina is purely 64-bit architecture. Maverick still allows 32-bit and 64-bit architecture, and so when you combine the two, Playback Pro is a 32-bit. If I'm not mistaken, it's still primarily a 32-bit program. It's not a 64-bit program, and so because of that, when everyone was forced over to Catalina, all the Playback Pro systems no longer worked. So,
okay.
So now what you're having to do is these 2020 MacBook Pros, the model year 2000, the nice 2020 MacBook Pros, you really have to put Maverick on them to even get your Playback Pro to work.
So, is there...
In the Windows world, it would be the essential, like, hey man, we need to run it. It runs really well on Windows XP.
So you have to downgrade to Windows XP to get anything to actually work.
Mercifully, at least the MacBook Pros run Maverick pretty well. So it's not it's not like there's a driver compatibility issue as in PC land. In PC land, good luck trying to get a touchscreen or USB 3.0 or anything to work on at Windows XP. Good luck.
That'd be interesting.
It's doable, but it
won't be fun.
No. So then you have that.
Well, back to my main thing though, is talking about how and why it seems that the, I guess, mainstream media in this aspect is so heavy on the reliance with Apple and Apple products. I mean, I think one of the things that we were talking about when we were going down there was people, they have to see that MacBook. They have to see the Macs in action to be confident that something's going to work. Kind of like going back to something we talked about a long time ago was the cameras in studios. How there's certain brands that they have to see in order to know, all right, this project is going in the right direction.
Right.
We're solid. But when
we talked about that, didn't we?
Yeah, we talked about that with how Netflix is now putting new cameras on their list of approved cameras for everything. Right. But it seems that, and I don't fully understand why, but in that Hollywood aspect, in that down south area, and it could be happening throughout the entire country for all I know, I'm just familiar more with Northern California,
right,
is that Apple seems to have a monopoly on that realm of the movie making and playback for premieres and the large events. It always seems to be Apple products. Even in the music industry, everyone, every church I've been to since COVID started, besides the personal one that I work with, they all have their Mac Pros and MacBook Pros that are doing all of the multimedia stuff. Meanwhile, I'm using a Windows and accomplishing the same exact stuff.
Here's the thing, and like you said, it's when you look at something, you're like, okay, you just know it's supposed to work, and that's the funny thing. We've had as much problems with our MacBook Pros as we've had as with Windows. I mean, but the thing is, it's more forgiving, which is stupid. I mean, we're in the truck, and I'm like, oh, hold on, this Mac is blah, 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 whatever. This Mac is good. And okay, no problem. Like, people are just like, oh, my Mac is messing up. Okay, no problem.
But if it's a Windows...
Oh, well, it's good. It's a Windows. Blah, blah, blah. Like,
why are you using Windows for this thing? Why?
Exactly. But if we have any computer technical glitches with a MacBook, no problem. It's a double standard. It's an absolute double standard. But, one thing I will say is that for people who don't know, that don't geek out on their computers, and that's really what it is. Creatives don't geek out. Creatives don't know, RAM or megahertz. I mean, some of them think they do, and some, whatever. But that's the reason why, Apple has sold the laptops as model years. It's like a vehicle. Oh, we're driving a 2021 Ford Transit. Of course we are. That's great. What kind of? You have a 2015 MacBook Pro. You see what I'm saying? It's all model driven, and so your common creative who may be phenomenal at grading film, or maybe phenomenal at engineering, folly, or something within the industry, they aren't going to care enough to know why my computer does what it does. All they care about is I've got a 2020 MacBook Pro that does everything I needed to do. Why isn't it working? I must be a bad computer. I'm going to throw it away and get something new. Because people, and I admire that to an extent. When you become so honed in on your craft that you're like, listen, I only grade film. That's all I do. I don't care about anything else. You pay me well to grade film. I don't need to know why any of this other stuff works. I just need to know that when I drop onto that particular color and I bring out the life in it and I'm able to get a particular look you want from your film, boom. Yep. That's the reason why I really feel like you see MacBook Pro and Mac products in the majority of the industry. Because yeah, they're okay products, but at the end of the day, no one really knows how the heck a computer really works. That's the point. And so on this project, I think you're talking about the Los Angeles project, the majority of that show was actually bailed out by Windows PCs.
That's true.
Because all of the content that people had rendered, and again, I'm not trying to be rude, it's just that you don't know. You throw it into Resolve or you throw it into Final Cut and you're like, okay, well, obviously it needs to be the best quality, so I'm going to choose maximum quality settings, highest render standards, blah, 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 blah. So when they chose, literally, they're giving us content. It's a 1 minute file, and the 1 minute file is like 300 gigabytes. That you
can't do that.
No,
it's not usable.
That's dumb. And there's no reason. I can't. Comment below, argue, call, do something. I don't see any reason why, unless for archival purposes, even if you ran it on triple redundancy on Western Digital black drives that you locked away in a cold fusion chamber. I don't know. But really, if the content was that good, if that 1 minute clip, it must be extremely incriminating. Because if that's the case, then why even have it? Just dump the clip. Yeah, and with the way, and that's another thing I'm trying to explain to the film guys too. With today's real-time processing, with the processors on Brompton, LED matrix walls, and with the Teranex, all of these processors in line from your video, at the sacrifice of maybe 5 to 7 frames, you're getting amazing quality in real time to where you could just upscale a piece of 720p footage, and actually that's what we did, and it looked amazing. A lot of folks were just like, and I even asked, I would never tell them this, and this is only coming out on the podcast,
so keep it secret.
But I specifically ran side by side just to prove my point for my own personal knowledge. These are high-end producers, high-end directors, editors. These people are Academy accredited, and we're on the LED wall, and we were running through color clips just to confirm that they were super happy with it. And I added the 720p footage to this wall. This wall's 100 feet by 60 feet, so it's massive. So you would think, in terms of quality, if you're going to notice any issues, pixelations, bitrate, you're going to see it.
Yep.
On a wall of that size.
And it was a massive wall.
And we watched 5-6 minutes of this footage in 720, and what do you guys think? How does it look? Looks amazing. Cool. Looks great. I ran another set of 4K footage. How does it look? Looks great. No problem. I ran back to the 720p. Again, what do you think? This is awesome. Thank you so much. This looks great.
Didn't notice.
No. So I gave them the opportunity to start at 720, go to 4K, and then go back down to 720. Nothing. And all of that footage, by the way, was actually upscaled and downscaled to 1080p through a Teranex.
And it worked.
I rest my case. So in any event, I get it, but also we're just hoarding up data like it's going out of style. And the thing is this, I mean, you only have so much local storage, only so much cloud storage. I mean, choose your render settings wisely, choose what you need to do wisely, because in the grand scheme of things, always best is not going to net you any better results unless the whole signal chain is high end. And I'm talking like one pitch HDR screens and we're talking high end stuff. But in reality, this was a 6-pitch outdoor screen. There's only so much you can do. And that I also throw that out there as a disclaimer. Like, we're not, this is not a laser projector. So, yes, I'm sure someone's going to be like, well, actually, you would notice if you had it. Well, yeah, true. If we were using visual, like laser projectors or things that were capable of showing those imperfections, absolutely. But it's the same reason why you have your cell phone. People want to do 4K, 8K, 16K video on a 1080 screen on their cell phones.
Yep.
Same stuff, guys. Anyways, food for thought. Oh, right. No, I wasn't done. The Mac, that's the thing. So that's the reason why Macs are a big deal. That's all. And I love Macs. I really do. I really
don't love Macs. No.
I don't mind them. I like, especially the newer ones. They're thin. I like the aluminum, the metal casing. There are PCs that have that too, I understand. But there's just, I like those aspects. I like that, when, we have a piece of ProRes footage or something, that it just works. I like that. There's a lot of cool things about the Mac that just work and are nice.
Yeah.
But you can do the same thing on a PC, and if your PC is tuned up and running right and doing what it should do, you can have just as good results, and that's what I would rock. But I would just out of professional courtesy, I would never go to specific projects without a Mac.
Oh no, of course not. You can't.
There's
certain projects that, just like with film, you have to have the certain product in order to be taken seriously. And if you walk in with, what would be hilarious though? If someone would go to a big time event with one of the, I think it's the Pinecone series of laptops, or a Raspberry laptop.
Yeah.
I would love to see that.
Well, honestly, here's the thing though too.
You could, in essence though.
Big shout out to Linux. Because honestly, there will come a day where developers are sick and tired of the BS that comes from both sides of the campaign.
That's true.
And honestly, I'm super close to as soon as there was a reliable port of Chrome to Linux, and if I completely sold out to Resolve, I would probably be on Linux.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Because then there you go. It's the best of both worlds. You can do a high-end PC because I can get Resolve, I can get OBS, and I can get, clerical knockoff products. And if I have a Google Chrome, because I'm sold out to Chrome because of the stupid perks that come with it.
A little latency bit.
Whatever you guys want to talk about, I would be on Linux. Oh wait, I take that back though. I don't know. If there's an ATEM, I gotta double check. I'm not for sure.
Oh,
if there's an ATEM controller for Linux, then I'm 100%. Because you can run Midas from Linux.
Oh really?
Yeah. There's a Linux variant for the Midas, the M32 and X32 consoles.
Oh, that's nice.
Yep.
That's very nice.
XR also. So they're almost there, man. They're almost there.
I like that. That'd be cool.
We need to get some Taco Bell.
Taco Bell?
Want to get some Taco Bell?
Let's do some Taco Bell.
We're not sponsored by Taco Bell.
But if Taco Bell, if you're watching and you would like us to promote products in the future...
Yeah, dude, we'll even eat live. We'll eat it right here on the cameras, man, in the van.
We would love to do that.
Have we wasted another hour already?
We're at about 50 minutes.
Can you believe that?
That little side project.
Tell them all about what we gotta do, Nick, to support this channel.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching this on YouTube or wherever you found this video, who knows where it's at this point.
I know.
Huh?
That's how I know, right?
Oh, yeah. Wherever you're seeing this, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode of The Sound Guys. And if you're listening to this on any podcast platform, whether it's Spotify, Apple, CastBox, whatever it is, make sure you subscribe, hit auto download so you never have to worry about it ever again.
It's a great feature.
It's amazing. I use it for all my podcasts.
Why not? Why not use it for our podcast, folks?
Exactly. And be sure to give us a 5-star rating on Apple and leave some reviews and comments so that we know what you guys are liking about the podcast. My name is the wonderful, reliable, always there for you, Neighborhood Nick.
I'm Crispin Smith. And yeah, this has been cool. I think this worked out all right. We're going to be doing more of these shows from the van.
Yeah, and we'll see how it all worked out. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us here at the Soundguys Podcast. Any last words, Mr. Crispin Smith?
We'll see you again soon.
Take it away. See you guys next time.